Sorry. I don't know. You may remember me, maybe not. I'm an activist, and some people, get me wrong based on what's going on with campaigns or something that's. I worked
Uh-huh.
I worked on a marijuana campaign up there in Shasta County, like I don't know, probably 2014, and
Okay.
what some lady was involved in it, but
Well, let's see. Marilyn J.
yes, yep, Marilyn J. Yep, yep,
Marsha Jones.
yep, exactly, Marilyn J. Yep, yep. I actually got wrongfully assaulted by a sheriff of Shasta County at that market, those health food markets, the Apple Orchard Market or whatever. What was it?
Orchard Nutrition Center.
Yeah, yeah. A little sheriff's deputy showed up, and the manager had asked me to leave, and I was petitioning, and this little guy got like, he's like, I was trying to register a voter or something, and then I had it all on video. I lost the video. I wish I could have sued him, but
Well, hold on, though. Orchard Nutrition Center isn't Shasta County's jurisdiction. So are you sure it wasn't an RPD?
it was in, yeah, I'm pretty sure, because it was out in, dang, what are those little towns? What?
Oh, okay. It wasn't in Reading.
No, it was in, the name is evading me right now. Shit. I've been a million miles as a political activist, so it's,
Yeah. Well, Shasta Lake, Anderson.
no.
Anderson would be the
No, it was a small town where the Orchard Center is.
Palisadro.
Yep, Palisadro. Yep.
Okay.
See,
I didn't know there was an orchard there.
Yep, exactly. So, see, I know more about your county than you do. But, that little sheriff, I had it all on video. He started yelling at me, "Dude, the store manager asked you to leave." And I have no, I mean, I don't know. I was ignoring the guy. And he tried to this little guy tried to tackle me. And I said, I was like, "You don't have to tackle me to arrest me." So I just put my hands behind my back and I let him arrest me. But then I talked him through it, how he was violating my rights, and I told him I had it all on camera, and he better take me out of handcuffs. And he called his watch commander or whatever, and took me out of handcuffs and gave me his business card. But I mean, that campaign is where it really all went bad for me, man. It went horribly bad. I mean,
well,
no,
here's
no,
the thing about stores, though.
no. It's not about stores. It's about who I met.
It's private.
It's
Well,
about
yeah, but it's private property versus public property.
no.
You can be on public property; they can't do a damn thing.
No. I know the laws nationwide, man. I mean, beyond the state of California. I'm not calling to argue with private property rights and stuff. There's so many gray areas and whatnot, but we could probably talk about that all day. But
Well, I used to do security guard for Ross Dress for Less, so that's how I know all that stuff.
yeah, I hear you. But when I
For
was
California,
when I was,
City of Reading. City of Reading has ordinances also.
I hear you. But
But, obviously, the county is county, so...
well, city and state ordinances and private property rights still don't really trump First Amendment rights and talking to the community and petitioning the government, and it's all gotten really messed up, so
Yeah.
we really can't talk about that. But when I was escaping Chico from a narcissistic psychopath down there named Weston Mickey, I fled to your county. And when I first got there, I met this lady named Teresa belongia, and I was living in my Mercedes, and she said her house was being taken from her. She was working at Dairy Queen. Her dad just died. her husband died, and so I felt really bad for her. She had a 16-year-old son named Jeffrey Belongia. And I was just living in my Mercedes, and she was overdue on her bills, her electricity and stuff. So as I do on the road, a lot of times I offer people that I meet these jobs, that are very, short, and you can make a lot of money and get on your feet.
Get petitions signed.
What's that?
And they're just doing petition signing. Yeah,
exactly. Right, Rob. Exactly. So, anyway, so finding out exactly what happened, she said she let me move in. I offered to pay her rent and help her save her house. I didn't know exactly the lengths of why she was losing her house until she told me about the trust that was rewritten without her father's real authorized signature, with consciousness. It turns out Claude Belongia had died in that house at 3251 School Street, Redding, California. And she took care of her dad honorably until he died. No one else did. Her sister, who worked for John McCain, was a secretary of recently departed John McCain. And her brother was Special Agent Stephen Belongia, FBI. And those two people collaborated with a lawyer to basically, because Teresa Belongia is mentally ill, and they claim she was on drugs and whatnot, and they wanted her out of the family and this and that, even though she was the only one that took care of Claude Belongia until he died. Stephen Belongia and her sister took her father to reassign the trust, and he was not watched in the shower, and like he should have been, like, held in the shower, and he ended up slipping, hitting his head, going, losing his consciousness and going into the hospital, barely able to function. And that trust was re-signed without valid conscience. I mean, there's a term for it. You can't. It's like Weekend at Bernie's. You can't redo a trust while the person. I mean, her father, obviously, that she took care of till he died, would not have said, "You can't have my house," but that's what they did. And I read the whole will. It's
well, who did the house go to?
It's actually very illegal. I fought the whole thing. I did the investigation. I raised hell about it. She actually ended up getting the house, but the thing is, I was there to fight it at the very beginning, to put it all into play, and then 3 weeks went by on that petitions and stuff, and I was working it. I couldn't stand to be in her house anymore. She started making me hold her hand, making me say I love you, and I mean, I did mess up and go do something with her once, but it was just a fuck up. And then she thought, oh, we're going to be together forever. She's a narcissistic psychopath, just like the one I escaped in Chico, Weston. And she went crazy on me and kept telling me I should call her beautiful around town and say I love her and weird shit and make out with her in public. I wanted nothing to do with that. So one day when I left, when she left her house, I had started gathering up all my stuff and running in and out, getting into my old C280 Mercedes, and she came back while I was packing up, and she threw my stuff in the driveway in my face and started trying to headbutt me in the weirdest way in the middle of the chest, like tackle me, and I'm a big guy, and she's just crazy. Well, by the time she got back, doing that, I had to run in and one more time to get my wallet and driver's license to make it up to Washington State for a campaign that was about to start up there. And so I got in there. I had to restrain her by the shoulders at one point to stop her from running at me and stuff and trying to tackle me. But anyway, I got my wallet and I got out of there, and I ended up getting stopped by the highway patrol up in near Northern California for a taillight out. And and they tried to get me on a marijuana DUI, and I did a refusal because I wasn't high on marijuana or drunk. I just they just harassed me up there, and I finally get to Washington State, and I started working, and some investigator called me from the Reading Police Department saying, were you here last Friday night at this address with Teresa Belongia? And I wasn't thinking, I was just working. I just sorry. I just told the truth and didn't think anything of it. Well, that was, I didn't commit any crimes, and I didn't hurt Teresa on the way out, so I didn't think anything of it. I just fled for my life. Well, that investigation started a whole year long. They charged me with felony supervisal spousal abuse. Felony spousal abuse? Domestic violence.
So basically she made false reports?
Yeah, she made false reports 2 days after I left with the supposed little bruises or whatever on her shoulders. I mean, I could have crushed every bone in her body if I were to attack her. I'm a power lifter, bodybuilder. I've never hurt anyone, and I mean, I would never even attack anyone. I was just like she was crazy, and I wanted out of there. Well, though I didn't know about the charges getting initiated, but she actually got a hold of the petition people because I had gotten her into the industry. She stalked me. She took hitchhiked on trucker rigs, semis, all the way to Washington State to stalk me up there. She got me fired off the campaign. Then she told me she was pregnant. She literally told me she was pregnant in Washington State. And I thought, oh no, I fucked up once. It was a one-time mistake. I'm naive, dude. And I thought, man, I'm having a baby with this crazy, batshit crazy lady. I mean, I'm from Georgia, dude. I was raised with manners, honors, respect, morals.
Well, I hope you got a DNA test that I'm sure is yours.
No, dude. It was all a lie, dude. It was a con. She was like 45 years old. That I hardly believed it. She was 45 years old. And I was like 27, and she was like nasty. Her face looked bad. She was like wrinkly or saggy and all this stuff. I wasn't attracted to her at all. But I came back.
She was a narcissist.
Yes,
so,
yes, extreme. I was 27. There were, and she was trying to, I don't know. But so she got me fired off the campaign. I thought I was going crazy because of what had happened and how I tried to save her house. And I'm homeless. I'm a homeless petitioner. I've been homeless for 14 years now. I mean, a million miles, because it's political work, and I didn't have any community. So I thought, well, if this lady is crazy, but she's having my baby, but she has a home, and I was helping her save her home, at least maybe I should raise my son and go live in the home on 3251 School Street, Reading, California. At least. Well, she made me drive her all the way back down to Reading, and when I got there, she told me, I didn't even know. I petitioned, and it took a while to get back down there, and she said, by the way, there's felony domestic spousal abuse charges out on you, and there's a warrant for your arrest. And I said, what? Are you crazy? She said, you want to know? She called the Shasta County District Attorney right in front of me and said, hey, is there any felony warrants out for Aaron Anderson's arrest? They said, yes, Teresa, there is. And they, proceeded to say what they were. So then I was crushed, and she hung up the phone, and she said, you could either stay and say you love me, and you develop life with me for the rest of your life, or I will fight the state, I will be with the state and fight you and put you in prison. Well, there was a couple things wrong. I wasn't even there 30 days. I wasn't a spouse of hers. I was just literally a roommate trying to I mean, if anything, it should have been charged as just domestic violence. Well, not even domestic violence, because I wasn't really living there. I don't know. I mean, if you're going to charge something, charge it right. I mean,
Yeah.
But anyway,
Well, she detained you at any point, and that's a crime.
Well, no. See, the thing is, it gets really bad. So, I just crumbled to it. I just gave in. That's extortion. You can't say stay with me, have sex with me, say you love me, and develop a life, or you're going to prison for a false police report.
Yeah, exactly. It is extortion.
Well, and it's kind of the sickest extortion, because I was appalled by her, and she forced me to have sex with her, dude. Like, I called my parents up after I got off the phone.
You're a guy, you know. It just kind of goes with the territory of when a girl wants sex. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, but I called my parents up when I got off the, I caved into her extortion and told my parents how terrified I was, and I accepted. And she had promised if I stayed with her, she'd write the DA letter saying that she attacked me and while I was trying to leave, and it was all just a lie. I stayed with her with a felony warrant out for my arrest for months, because I couldn't bear to turn myself in. I knew it was just going to be like a quick book and release. And I mean, and I did. I went and got booked and released the same day. They released me on an ankle bracelet with a stay away order, and I was perfectly fine with that. I was like, hell yeah, I got a stay away order.
Except that that needs to be completely cleared from your record. You didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
And Shasta County DA are about the most crooked motherfuckers. They don't spend any time investigating anything.
I know.
You know?
I know. Exactly. The whole system's corrupt, dude. They took a false police report days after an incident, dude, when I was far gone.
Well, are you looking for an attorney in Reading? Is that why you're giving me a call to find out who?
No, that I need an attorney for something else. But no, let me tell you, like, there's no way out of what happened and the disposition of this case because of how it turned out, and it was a nightmare, dude. So I was on a supervised ankle bracelet with a stay away order. I went and rented a room in an AA house so I could charge my ankle bracelet and get a job. I got a job at the Mongolian Grill there in Reading and worked 7 days a week. Tried to work my ass off to stay away from her, but however, with our agreement that she made, she forced me to come over to her house every night and have sex with her with an ankle bracelet on, dude. And
did you record the audio of any of this?
I did, but there's not just audio. She harassed my Mongolian work barbecue. She called there hundreds of times. She was screaming.
So you have witnesses too.
Well, yeah, and my AA house.
Well, get all those in the line.
These crime, the way the disposition happened, now there is no fixing it. Now it's just a mark on my record. I stayed so long on an ankle bracelet.
You tell the district attorney you are suing them, and you show them how you have every right to, and that they're going to lose.
I want to charge her with rape charges and extortion. I mean,
well, those are crimes, okay? That's what the DA should have done.
Look what Donald Trump just alleged. He lost a civil lawsuit to that lady.
Aaron, did you ever do formal complaints?
Sir, I was out of my mind. You got to listen to the end of the story and how the disposition happened. And they're trying to use this case against me now, which I'm going to tell you the disposition in a couple of minutes. They're trying to use this this against me now in some more fake charges and allegations. But anyway, to make a long story short, she wrote the letter the recant letter to the assistant DA who was charging the case, and my public defender and the judge, 3 copies, and the district attorney lady said it was the best recant letter she ever heard in her whole life, but she would not drop the charges. They did. I was going to trial, and they kept giving me plea deal after plea deal after plea deal that I turned down, and they finally dropped it to a misdemeanor for a while, misdemeanor domestic violence, because this felony spousal abuse was fucking stupid. But and I worked
this is just a freaking, they call it Shafter County for a reason.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, so other people like Weston Mickey who contacted her, and they told her, got through to her, that I wasn't going to stay and say I loved her and live with her my whole life. And she found out about that, and she came to me one day in a parking lot about 2 weeks before the trial. She said she wrote the letter, she wasn't going to appear in trial, they had no witness, and she was just not going to show up, and everything was going to get dropped. And that's what she was telling me. And then she met me in a parking lot, and this was the last straw. She said that she forced me to take the misdemeanor domestic violence plea because she wanted to punish me, and because I was going to leave. She said if I didn't, her son Jeffrey Belongia, who actually stole my Mercedes at 17 without a driver's license, crashed into a road sign in the middle of the night when I was in Colorado, should have been charged with GTA. She said she was going to have him go and say I molested him, make allegations that I molested a 17-year-old or whatever. And I just flipped my shit. I said, and I called my friend who worked for the department, a contractor, Department of Defense at one point, James Lutruck, and he said, you need to take that plea deal, misdemeanor, and do whatever they want and get the hell out of the state of California. You're done. Because allegations and people coming forward and saying things, they could press charges, man. I've heard of other people getting rape charges.
Okay, what are the political affiliations if you are gathering signatures?
What are
yours and what are hers?
Well, so her only affiliations is, and the reasons why, I don't know. I mean, she's tied to Special Agent FBI Stephen Belongia, and her sister worked for John McCain. And, she did save her house because of what I raised hell about. But
what were you gathering signatures for?
Just the marijuana referendum. There was a marijuana referendum in Butte County.
Well, let me school you just a little bit on what I think is really going on. Okay, so are you aware of who the Dixiecrats are?
No.
Okay, so going back in our country's history, there was a group of Democrats called the Dixiecrats, and they were all from the South, and they were just the racist motherfuckers. They, of course, tried to get George Wallace elected, Alabama governor elected president in 1968 and 1972. But besides being racist, they were also the alcohol rum runners, the black market, okay?
Yeah.
So when alcohol was made legal, the 21st Amendment, after it had been made illegal, 19th Amendment, which gave them their businesses, it being illegal and them just doing their thing. Because if you're doing something illegal, you don't have to pay taxes or fees or, whatever. So they had all that going on, and when the 21st Amendment says alcohol, or it regulates and controls alcohol and all other substances deemed harmful. Mm-hmm. And then they said marijuana was harmful, and which we know good and well it isn't, right?
Right.
But that lie gave them control under that to go after anybody that would grow marijuana or try and sell marijuana, because that's what they were doing along with every fucking other thing.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right. Oh, I understand. I understand, and I understand a lot more than you understand. Well, maybe not. Who knows what you understand? But I mean, I was raised with the history of the country and World War II and Vietnam, and I mean, I was homeschooled all my life, man. I mean, I've been a million miles.
Well, anyway, being the racists, the Dixiecrats all moved to the Republican Party after the Civil Rights Act was passed and George McGovern lost the primary. All right?
Yeah.
So they then managed to take over the Republican Party, and that's who we're dealing with. And they are just the low downest, dirtiest, evil motherfuckers in the country. And that's how they're going to deal with you. And good chances that they are doing this for political reasons more than any other thing.
Well, no doubt. I retired from my job as a petitioner because I was almost killed by the Proud Boys at the Trump rally in 2020 with a conspiracy where I literally was almost murdered in the street over a misunderstanding. I called out the leader of the Trump rally, Fleur Hull, who was also the leader of the Gavin Newsom recall in Kern County. And I just told her off because she said I was a fraud and a fake. And I said, this is my job, ma'am. I get paid for getting signatures and stuff. I'm not a fraud. Stop calling my family a fake and all this stuff. And she sent the Proud Boys to come murder me in the street. They kicked me in the head till almost dead. I lost a ton of blood, got staples in my head, wounds up and down my legs. And that happened in front of a sergeant of the Bakersfield Police Department. No investigations were done on the Proud Boys. They actually claimed to be some victims with no evidence and charged me with 2 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, put me in jail, had to bail myself out, ran to Northern California to seek help. And then they put me in jail again on $1.5 million bail for a wooden stick and left me in jail with human rights violations, staples in my head, wounds that were getting infected. And, I'm already all past that stuff, but I mean,
during Black Lives Matter, the Proud Boys and other white supremacist organizations shadowed the march along the sides and broke windows, stole stuff, started fires, and several of them were caught, including one in blackface, and the news never said shit. And the reason that is because they are running the Nazi playbook on our country, and the news is corporate owned, and the corporations want to keep their tax break and keep Donald Trump to keep their tax break that he gave them, that is basically running the debt up to monstrous proportions.
Right.
And they're trying to say, oh, we got to take away everything from the American people. No, we pay taxes for all that stuff. You're not taking away anything.
Right.
But the point is, this is basically a civil war.
Right. Right.
Is what it is.
Right. And they're trying, in the middle of all this, I'm a political whistleblower. I'm basically understanding all you're saying. And
well, what I was going to suggest is you talk to Donnie. You remember Donnie Greenberg, Donnie Chamberlain now?
No.
Owns a news cafe, a website called the News Cafe.
No.
Okay, well, go to anewscafe.com, and it's Donnie, D-O-N-I, and she is covering all of this stuff, and it is Shasta County corruption. And right now, we got a lot going on with the election office, and we got a lot going on with the 3 supervisors that are fascists, that are allegiant to Donald Trump.
Well, I was almost killed by the Proud Boys.
They changed out our election machines at the cost of $1 million, even though they knew Fox News had already settled for their lie about Dominion, and they still spent $1 million of Shasta County money to change out the voting machines.
Yeah. Well,
so it's a fascist plot. It really is. So,
well, the thing is, I'm a casualty, dude, and if anybody would want to talk, and I mean, I've reached out to news media sources, and a Mexican news reporter wanted to take my story. I mean, the cops lied. The news.
I've been poisoned 3 times, probably by drug dealers, because I'm trying to make it so that we can grow in our gardens. Get rid of this outdoor grow ban that racketeering.
Well, that was the referendum. Yeah,
basically gave us.
I know,
huh?
I know, man. But see, KEGTV channel 17 in Bakersfield. I was on California State News, dude. I mean, they didn't allege anything. They said I committed this crime and this crime, and claimed to be an FBI agent hunting a pedophile and all this stuff. And the Proud Boys, I escaped the hospital and ran with warrants out for my arrest.
Well, you know what? You ought to be writing a book. Seriously.
It's not a book. My life is in jeopardy right now. I'm being wrongfully persecuted in 2 counties in California, and they're trying to use that felony stick wobbler that could be dropped to a misdemeanor now. That now they're claiming I'm a violent felon for that wooden stick that I wasn't committing a crime with my police vehicle being illegally searched and seized after Devin Paisley, an officer of Gridley, illegally stalked me, pulled me over, said I told him I was an FBI agent, said his body camera was dead. He's on his way to prison for animal cruelty and domestic violence right now. That's an upstanding officer right there. And that Gridley Police Department put me in jail on $1.5 million bond for just that wooden stick, and it could have been charged as a misdemeanor. However, now in the state of California, that Billy Club stuff is no longer even a crime due to the Supreme Court ruling. And then the domestic violence stuff with Teresa, that misdemeanor domestic violence, they're trying to use now in my court cases, which are felony, they're aggravated felonies for just threats. I didn't even hurt anyone. They don't even have any evidence. It's just
right. And George W. Bush passed the terrorist threat law so they could put people in jail for things they say. We are at war. Okay?
Yeah.
But
well, I'm about to be a casualty. I'm about to be a casualty, Rob. I need immediate podcast nation. I need some. I'm on your side.
See, my reach has been through emails, and I can't send out more than 200 an hour.
Yeah.
But I have put out probably 150,000 emails between last May and now to the voters.
Mm-hmm.
That for what you are talking about, I would strongly suggest you talk to Donnie and get a story.
I mean, it doesn't make sense why the news media isn't backing me, because I'm like a perfect example.
It does make sense, okay? In 2008, George W. Bush and Republican Congress removed the rules that prevented media conglomeration so that the corporations that bought the Republicans could buy all the media. It makes perfect sense, but there are independents, and I'm trying to tell you one.
Well, before you tell me the one, I mean, the Proud Boys, whatever, their capital takeover or whatever, I mean, obviously they were declared terrorist, I think. I don't know, but I mean,
yeah, they were.
They're complaining about investigation. Like, I was almost murdered in front of a sergeant, and no investigation was done on these people and their names.
Okay, well, if you're in Republican territory, you're in enemy territory. It's as simple as that.
But it's not.
They don't play by the rules. They don't play by the laws. They don't believe
in the
Constitution.
That's why I had to take plea deals instead of go to trial in both counties, man. But nobody still has, for 4 years, has had my back through. I mean, I want to sue the Bakersfield Police Department for not investigating at those people and taking me away from the scene of a crime where the Proud Boys tried to kill me. Their names are reported as the victims on the incident report. They came forward saying he tried, and I lost blood all over the sergeant's police car. And, I don't know, man. No one has come through. Like the news media, I mean, you would think I would be like their shining star. Look what they did. Look what these guys did to this
once
guy.
again, you need an independent news media, one that is actually into journalism rather than marketing. Okay, and a newscafe.com, talk to them, get your story out.
Yeah. I mean,
they write in depth more than anybody I know. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
is there a way you could take down my personal cell phone number?
well, I don't think you blocked it when you called, did you?
No, we're just talking on Facebook Messenger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can. Hang on.